What's up guys, welcome to Voicey here. This is your Dragon Ball manga collecting host, Captain Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDontWorkHereLady with a couple bonuses from r/Today I Fudged Up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. This story's called Subway Employee Thought I Was a Secret Shopper, Continued to Dig Herself into a Hole. First time posting here, just remembered a funny story that I think would go nicely here. Here's the cast. Subway girl. I walk into a Subway near my place that I would visit often. As I walk in, the restaurant is empty. I got there closer to closing time, so I expected them to be busy cleaning up anyway. And there's a gas station connected, so they could be over there. No big deal. I wasn't in a rush. Finally, the girl walks in from a side door after I stood there for almost 2 minutes. Still not bothered. I was in a good mood, so it would take a lot to annoy me. Oh, Snooky word, I didn't see you come in. I was having a smoke. No problem, I'm in no rush. She starts making my sandwich. Oh, I hope you're not a secret shopper or anything. I'd probably lose my job. Oh, definitely not. You're safe. Right, but you wouldn't tell me if you were anyway. Well, true, but seriously, I'm just here for a sandwich. She keeps making my sandwich, going on about how she's convinced I'm her secret shopper, and talking about how she didn't care if I was, she'd probably get fired anyway. I don't remember how most of the story goes from there, but she wouldn't back off about it. And then, at the end, I accidentally gave her an extra $1 while paying for my sandwich. Is this supposed to be a tip? Me, visibly annoyed? No. I just accidentally gave you an extra $1. Oh. I finally leave, after a longer conversation not worth getting into. But she made it clear she wasn't a great worker wherever she went. So I had a very long conversation with someone about how bad they were at their job when all I wanted was a sandwich. Unfortunately, no big punchline here, I guess like some of the gems I've seen on here, but still a story that makes me laugh when I think about it. Don't worry buddy, I got you. I guess you could say your Subway experience was subpar. This story's called Update on Dumb Karen and No More Wearing My Headset While Running Errands. TLDR. This is my second time being harassed for wearing my headset while shopping. I'm long-winded and overly detailed, so if you don't care, stop here. So anyway, I came home for a day, less than 12 hours really, so my dad, so named Papa Wolf by commenters, could go for his annual checkup and dental check or teeth cleaning. While he did that, I decided to visit my little brother, who I'll call Dylan for this post. Dad met Dylan's mother when he was 11 months old. So, although he is not biologically ours, he is still family. He is almost 14 now and asked for my help regarding a book project that was due before they went on winter break. Dylan was given a list of books he could choose from and wanted my help on choosing the best book option and project type that he could choose from in the directions. FYI, this kid has had the project for 3 weeks, and his mom has done nothing when he's asked for her help with it. She infuriates me. So I took Dylan and his friend Sean, who had the same book projects, to buy the books they were going to read. This is how much I love this kid, because anyone else I would have straight up told no. Enter scene. My favorite used bookstore in the whole wide world. LAKEY's. It is this beautiful, warehouse-sized, 2-story wonder of books, DVDs, VHS, CDs, vinyls, electronics, and little odds and ends. It is a bibliophile's dream. So after we found the boys their books, I left them in the manga section with a few shonen names that I had liked back when you could still read online before copyright started cracking down. Meanwhile, I went off to the romance section to check out their Nora Roberts selection, by far my favorite romance author. And at LAKEY's, they have a lot of her older books for $1 a piece. However, there are so many that the little paperbacks are stacked sideways in 2 rows deep in 5 of their cubby shelves, so you have to dig and rearrange the stacks to find what you're looking for. So that's what I was doing while also on my headset talking to my 2 best friends on 3-way. After college, we all sort of scattered, with Kelsey, another set of nom de plume, moving back home to Mississippi to teach, and Mariah being stationed in Colorado because she joined the Army after college. We're all still very close though, and talk pretty much regularly, and that day we were having a heated debate about baby names, because Mariah is due in January with a little girl. She has already decided on a first name, but her and her husband have been waffling back and forth on the middle name and it's driving her crazy, so she was soundboarding us for opinions. Needless to say, I was very distracted when this woman and her kid walked up to me. However, it's not like I didn't notice them because her son, who was probably 4 or 5 judging by his size, was whining and crying about something.
"Oh, finally, where are the middle school level books?"
the woman said to me without so much as trying to get my attention. But you know me, always helpful and mostly wanting her and her child to go away. They're on the front row of shelves, down the first aisle. It is literally impossible to miss the kids section of this place. And there are huge signs at the end of every shelf with a genre of books and a map of the store underneath those signs that tells you where everything is. So I expect the woman to just go, but instead she says,
"Well, can't you show me? I need help finding a certain book anyway."
The books are arranged by author's last name and go from top to bottom, left to right.
"That doesn't help me. I don't know the author's name. My daughter only told me the title."
"I'm sorry, but I'm busy right now." By now, Kelsey and Mariah are chit-chatting about how this woman can't take a hint. They would later nickname her Susan after Kelsey's roommate in freshman year because the girl was oblivious and annoying. So named Susan just stood there waiting while I finished sorting through titles and shuffling books around. She had started snapping at her son to be quiet, which is why I thought she was done with me. But I was wrong. She waited a good 5 minutes until I was done and had picked up my selections. I only found 3 new titles, and the boys' books that they had left with me when she spoke again.
"Good, you're done. Now come help me find this book so I can go. I'm in a hurry and you're making me late."
Maybe you should ask some staff? They're usually around." Susan cut me off by clapping her hands together, and she started clapping with every word as if to illustrate her point.
"I asked you and I waited for you to be done stocking books. You can take 5 minutes from gossiping with coworkers over your headset to help me find what I'm looking for."
And the clapping thing, oh my lord, I can't get over the clapping thing. I didn't think people actually did that. I knew there are some that do the whole snapping thing to get the waitstaff's attention, and I only knew that because a guy did that on our first date, and immediately I knew right then and there it was also our last date. But I always thought the clapping to emphasize your words was just a reality television bit. I didn't think anyone actually did that or would do that to me. Kelsey and Mariah, of course, heard her do this and were telling me not to dare help her. And Mariah was going on a rant saying she wished a witch would try something like that with her. How she'd knock the woman flat 7 months pregnant or not. Considering it took me, Kelsey, and another friend to hold her down and keep her from fighting actual Susan back in freshman year, I believe her. Still, between the clapping thing and my friends going off in my ear, I guess I got a little overwhelmed. Plus, it also just dawned on me that I was having another "I don't work here, lady" moment, and it's because I'm wearing my headset again. Have people really never seen Bluetooth? So my reaction was to laugh. I laughed at the woman, and when she opened her mouth, probably to yell at me, I held a finger up for her to wait and just started saying, "Nope," repeatedly while backing away, and then turned and walked quickly away. I collected my brother and his friend, paid for our purchases, and got the hell out of there. My friends thought it was hysterical that I literally noped my way out of the situation, but I'm kinda concerned with my reaction. I didn't think my encounters with Karen had affected me that badly, but my reaction to that woman was so out of character that I just don't know anymore. Papa Wolf has offered to buy me a different headset for my birthday in 2 weeks that doesn't look like my current one. So maybe this will stop happening, and I'm heavily considering it. But anyway, this happened last Friday, and Kelsey, who was the person that suggested I post my first story to Reddit by the way, got onto me today and told me I needed to give y'all an update on the dumb Karen situation, and that I should talk about this one too. I was less descriptive this time to cut down on length, and plus the woman looked super plain and normal in a sweater and jeans. Plus, McKay's has no uniform, so what I was wearing didn't really factor either. The only reason I think this woman thought I worked there was because of my headset, and because I must have looked like I was stocking or organizing the shelf when she came across me. I'm not really sure, but either way, I still don't think I'll ever wear my headset while running errands at home ever again. So maybe that will be the end of this. Okay, first of all, don't get too down on yourself for reacting the way you did. You just lost some patience for stupid, you know? It happens to all of us when we have to deal with it a lot. So don't worry. I'm sure if the situation was different that actually required your time and attention, you'd give it, especially since you're concerned about this, That just goes to show how careful you are with these sorts of things, and how much thought you would normally put into these sorts of interactions, I guess. So no need to worry, you just keep on being a good big sister and keep reading, Reading's good for you. This story's called, Today I Fudged Up by Going to Work on Magic Mushrooms. Obligatory, this didn't happen today, but a few years ago. I want to start by saying drugs and drug use are pretty commonplace in the restaurant industry. Mainly alcohol and cocaine are the most common. One to wind you down after work and one to get you going for a rush. Other drugs are not hard to find. Well, I was a bit of a hippie growing up. I'm talking white boy with dreadlocks that played bass in a slightly psychedelic rock band, so naturally, I started a pretty good relationship with hallucinogenic drugs, mainly mushrooms and acid. Fast forward a couple of years, I'm out of culinary school in my early 20s, working away for a restaurant that had one of the best kitchen crews I've ever had the pleasure of working with. I got the rare Friday off, so I start making plans with my buddies to take the day for a much-needed mushroom trip as I hadn't done them in a couple of years. Around 2:30, we take our dose, about 5.5 grams each, and start waiting for them to kick in. Now, for anyone who has never done them, they can take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to kick in. So me and my buddies are just smoking weed and playing video games. About 40 minutes after taking them, I get a call from work. So-and-so cut his hand pretty bad and we need you in here ASAP. So being the good employee I am, I say, yeah, no problem. I'll be there in 30 minutes. Get off the phone and my buddy asks, dude, what did you just agree to? Without missing a beat, I'm going to work. Guy cut his hand. Dude, we're like 10 minutes out from tripping. Oh crap. I panic briefly, but remember past experience of friends having bad trips and calm myself down. Knowing we have a good crew, I'm thinking, crap, maybe I can just hide down on Friars for the night or something. I get in, not tripping too bad yet. Colors are brighter and I've got a warm feeling in my stomach. Okay, I freaking got this. Stroll over to the reservation book. About 150 people between 6 and 8. Right in the middle of when I'll be peaking. Okay, I'm screwed. Get onto the line and turns out I'm working sauté with a guy I'm so in sync with, we barely have to talk. I asked to take the easy job of setting up pans and plating. Figure I'd set myself on fire if I was the one cooking. As we get into the bulk of the rush, I start tripping harder and harder. Things look like they are breathing, getting minor hallucinations in my peripheral vision, but I'm keeping my crap together. At about 7, we are just flying. Food is coming out so well, and the guy calling out orders is keeping everyone motivated and says, "Holy crap, the sauté boys are killing it tonight!" I can't contain myself anymore and just burst out laughing. Everyone looks at me like I'm crazy. As I'm laughing, I manage to say, "I'm on freaking shrooms, man!" which sends the whole kitchen into an uproar that can be heard from the dining room. Word got around quick to everyone, and they are all making fun of me and pointing and laughing. Word gets to the owner. He comes back, takes a look at me, and asks the board caller, "Has he been putting up food?" "Yeah, he's been killing it." "Then I don't give a frick what he's on, just keep killing it." Rest of the night goes smooth, so I guess it wasn't much of a screw-up in the end, but it was a hell of an interesting night for sure. 5.5 grams after not being on him for like 2 years? Wow. That's, that's quite the move there. But, that's gotta be terrifying to do because shrooms make you really floppy. You know what I mean? Like, your legs, they just don't work well. So 5.5 grams will definitely do something to your muscles. You're just gonna be all floppy, and that is not the kind of condition you want to be in when you're working in a kitchen, with open flames and people carrying hot things, including yourself. But you know what? It worked out all right, so I guess, what do I know? This story's called, A Manager Mistakes My Teacher as an Employee. As from the title, you could probably guess this isn't my story, but rather my teacher's. So my teacher went out to go shopping with his wife. As he was shopping, he realized his shirt was very similar to what the store's uniforms were. And just as he thought that, the manager of the store walked up to him. The manager got angry at him for being late. My teacher was confused but somewhat expected this. The manager then told him to be on time next week. Rather than saying anything, my teacher just went with it. So, apparently, he now has a second job. You know what? Given how low teacher salaries are, unfortunately, good for him. But you know, that's extra work, and teaching is already a lot of work. I love teachers, okay? So teachers, hit me up. This story's called Woman Irate That Multiple Kinds of Pretzels Exist in Different Places Calls Manager on Me. I just found this Reddit yesterday after being directed to it. After I posted an etiquette question in 2 other places about what to say when being mistaken for a store employee. The big difference I see in most of the posts is that I'm a DSD vendor pull-up, which is a person who stocks something in the store for a specific brand, but isn't employed by the store, and typically has multiple stores to visit, and typically a distinctly different uniform, if any uniform at all. I get easily 5 to 10 of these incidents per day, and have easily a dozen stories of this nature that are real special, so I'll pick possibly my favorite. One of my route stops is a WM, which I also shop at, so I know where things are generally. This already irate lady storms over to me, clearly not noticing that my clothes do not match an employee's, and only seeing that I'm putting things on the shelf. She demands I tell her where the pretzels are, because no one else will help her. Well, I don't work here, but I do shop here, and I know there are several places for them. What kind are you looking for?
Just tell me where pretzels are. Is that not clear enough?
Do you want plain ones? Do you want chocolate-covered ones? Do you want flavored? The McDonald's up front sells big doughy pretzels.
Just tell me where the pretzels are.
Well, the chocolate-covered ones are over by the candy, on the other side of the store that way.
Over that way? The customer service here is hideous.
Except I don't work here, so your experience with me doesn't count? She storms off. Sometime later, she comes back with the manager, pointing at me for not helping her. Manager looks at me, looks at lady, looks at me, looks at lady. You doesn't work for us, ma'am. People who work here wear a blue vest. What is it you were wanting to find?
Just tell me where the pretzels are.
Well, we have multiple places. Do you want the hot and fluffy kind, chocolate covered, the plain salted kind? She finally leaves the store. Manager and I both just shrug and resume regular tasks. Okay, lady, how do you expect to get what you want if no one knows what you want because you won't tell them what you want, you idiot? Goodness. Sorry, I got heated. Pretzels are a trigger for me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.